In this video, we'll describe the process of setting up a Slave DNS nameserver. The steps in this video are similar to those described in the video on setting up the caching nameserver, but require the help of an existing master nameserver. This video just describes the simplest possible configuration. As noted in the RHCE exam prep guide, all you need to do with various services is configure them for basic, and I emphasize basic, operation. This is one key area where what you do on the RHCE exam varies somewhat from real life, as job requirements often go beyond basic operation. So we covered just a very few of the rich variety of directives for configuring DNS. If you haven't configured a master DNS server on your system and have a connection to an ISP, you may be able to use their nameserver as the master. Of course, this assumes the policies of your ISP allow you to do so. And this should only be on a temporary basis. The simplest template available for a regular or slave DNS server is in the name.caching-nameserver.conf configuration file. As discussed in the related video, we copied that file first to the etc/name.conf file, and we updated it to listen to addresses on my local network. We also opened the firewall in TCP and UDP ports 53. Now, to make this work for a master or a slave server, I need to be able to match clients on the local network. And this particular directive includes the contents of this file. The default version of this file is essentially the master nameserver for the local host system. To make this work as a slave or master on the local network, you need to add appropriate stanzas for forward and reverse lookups. The slave stanza for forward lookup would look something like this, which would serve if the local network was configured as the example.org domain with a master DNS server configured on the 192.168.0.1 system. When so configured, the database would be located in the noted location, and that's a subdirectory of the var/name/chroot/var/name directory. This assumes, of course, you've installed the bind-chroot RPM package. If you choose to include a reverse lookup stanza, it could look something like this. This format, the 0.168.192.in-adder.arpa, that format corresponds to a 192.168.0.0 network. And that also assumes you have a master DNS server configured on the system with IP address 192.168.0.1. Once that's all configured, let's review the service requirements for basic operation. In other videos, we've installed the required DNS packages. We've checked the requirements associated with Security Enhanced Linux. There's a Boolean directive associated with writing to a master DNS server database, so it doesn't affect a slave DNS server. We've made sure that the service starts the next time you boot Linux. We've configured the service for basic operation. And we've also configured security on the system by allowing traffic through port 53. Of course you could do more, but those are the basics.